there at your desk and you're doing the social medias or the Twitches or the YouTubes while you're working, hopefully, legitimately working, but it can give you, or it can create a bad perception about your work ethic. Again, maybe your boss is open to it and they understand the environment and that will be okay. That's just something that maybe you should just be cautious of. Which is that, like, hey, you know, that new programmer, they're on Facebook all the time, you know. Hopefully they will then come and talk to me, and I'll be like, yeah, and he gets his work done, and he's fine, don't worry about it. But, you know, that's just, again, like, I would say it's not a bad habit, but it could be a perception of a bad habit, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, to like, I guess go a little meta with that is just the imposter. So I mean, like imposter syndrome and things like that are so incredibly common. It's almost part of being in this industry and in this field and doing anything creative. And I don't just mean art. I just mean anything in making a game is a very creative endeavor, and it's risky and it's scary. And I think the most important thing for me is trying really hard not to assume what other people think about me, and to get that information, to actually talk to them and ask them questions, and ask those questions frequently and in a safe enough way that they feel like they can answer them honestly. Like, I think the worst thing I did to myself was sit at my desk and go like, oh God, I think everybody thinks I suck. You know, like, it's like, or I could go actually ask them and find out and find the ways that is true and find the ways in which that isn't true, because that fear isn't always wrong, but it's not useful to think that people think you suck. It's useful to know that they think you suck at this specific thing. Or maybe they'll say, I don't actually know if anything's wrong, but I see you on Facebook all the time, and so it made me grumpy. You know, like, wow, I was assuming something completely different. So, like, I guess my point is just like, anytime I've assumed what people think about me, I've been wrong. And even if I've been right, it's like just happenstance, you know? So, again, like, reach out to people, build those relationships, and try to cultivate that honesty with you, and you'll get great information and hopefully put a lot of that fear to rest, or put it to a forefront in a specific way that you can actually start bettering yourself and dealing with it.
You're not going to know things. Nobody knows everything, especially if you're coming in as a junior. No person who is going to hire you in their right mind is going to expect you to know everything right away. If you do, come work for us. Yeah, that'd be great. But, you know, and this happens to me even now. It's like, when I don't know something, I get anxiety about it. And sometimes, you know, it can affect me negatively, you know, but don't be afraid to figure out how things work. Go and research it. If you are worried about it, get rid of the worry by learning what you're worried you don't know. It's not very productive to just be worrying all the time about things that you don't know. You know, make it a goal to learn them.
I have 2 junior programmers that work for me right now, and I'll actually go and I'll ask them. I'm like, hey, Unity sucks, how do I do this? And they're like, and they'll show me, right? Unity doesn't suck, but this is just me being, well, it challenges me sometimes. So again, like, and I don't, you know, and if you get, you know, and one of them, his name's George, and he's a really funny guy, and sometimes he'll cut attitude with me, and I'm like, I write your review, George. That usually straightens things up. But no, again, I can't stress that enough. The more you're comfortable with communicating and getting feedback and talking and giving feedback, just the better it'll be, you know. If you just sit alone in a corner and you're quiet, and you know, maybe you're getting good work done, but you're missing out on part of it. Because this is, again, it's a team thing, and you know, and the more you're a part of that, the more you're involved in that, even if it's just a little bit. You could actually even be that guy or girl, right? Who's like, you never say anything, and every now and then you say something, people are like, oh, that was really astute. And then you become the person who doesn't talk often, but when you do, they listen. That's me. I talk all the time. But I think you understand. Do you guys remember my talk when I said I could come up here? I said if I talked to some of these other speakers, I was stressing how small the industry was. Do y'all remember that? So, I was talking to him, mutual friend John Eric Leaf. I was talking to Vincent, mutual friend Rich Taylor. I was talking to Paul, was it Paul?
Yep.
John Eric also, and Joseph Graylock. And so I'm just thinking, imagine if I talked to the last two down there. There's only two more, right? Yeah. So again, I just wanted to stress that I wasn't lying to y'all. You know, it's a small industry. Be professional and be awesome. Again, I saw that from all of y'all here today. You guys were all, every game I saw, every person I talked to, blew my socks off, gave me hope for the future. It really did. I'm going to shut up now.
Woo!
We have asked people asking about what are some of your most cherished mistakes, like the ones, but were really instrumental in kind of crafting you as a game developer. Oh man,
I'm jumping on the grenade. Okay. So I gave this in the production talk, but I'll wrap it up. But early in my producer career, where I was leading the champion development team and volunteering as a live producer, so it means I would oversee patches and I would take on calls. So I was overseeing the Nocturne patch. This was in March 2011 to Europe, and one of my developers forgot to hook up an image that would allow for a character portrait to go in. And as the producer in charge of it, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get that done, let's figure it out. So I worked with an engineer to inject it into the build. TLDR, when we were patching out, there was a configuration error because we haphazardly inserted that PNG into the wrong place. So what that meant was, as we were deploying to Europe, we had a mismatch with our platform, our air client, and our game client. And I had no shit at this time. Like, I was trying to be confident and move forward and move things ahead. And the engineer said to me, she was like, hey, we're having an issue with the air client here. What do you want me to do? And I'm like, what are our options? She's like, well, we can roll it back. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds reasonable. Now let's hold that up. When the platform and the front end doesn't match the game client, they're not going to work. So instead of going, hey, can I understand more, or actually can we escalate, I just said, no, let's go ahead and do it. So I go home, and at 3 in the morning, I'm downloading the patch from the CDN before she goes live, and she asks, should I pop it? So that means like let it loose to everybody. And I go, yeah, go ahead. So everyone in Europe is downloading this fucked up patch, and I get home and I start downloading it, and it gets to 99.9%, and it hangs. It just hangs like this. And I go, oh shit. So then I escalate, I call the head engineering, head of development, and we figure it out, but 70,000 users in Europe had to reinstall the game, and I learned how to ask more questions. And just eat it, and that's a great lesson. So ask questions.
Woo! Woo!
I think there's the idea behind killing your darlings or killing the baby sometimes. The game that I've since kickstarted and found reasonably loyal, small fan base for, etc., started out as one idea, which just to generalize, it turned out it was really free for. I had this idea, we worked on it for months, it was a semester-long project in school, we were super excited about the simulation type thing. It was horrible. It was just terrible. So we figured out, well, what do we actually like about this concept? What's worth saving? Is it anything to do with this terrible, miserable gameplay? We realized that small talk in game is horrible. Like, you don't really talk about the weather in real life. Why do you want to do that in the game?